everyone, and welcome to issue number 23 of the monthly dive into the long box here. I am Gabe, joined by Ajax as usual. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great.
It is
fantastic.
It is a new year, my brother. New year,
It
new
sure
us.
is.
But same old podcast we're bringing to you. We got some fun topics today. We're going to be looking at some best legacy characters that we like. Some fun DC and Marvel duos that I think would be cool concepts. Because anytime we come up with concept ideas, dude, for some reason, they kind of come true. We were talking about the compact series and books we'd like to see. There was like 4 of them we came up with, or at least that I came up with, that we all agreed on. 3 of them are being made this year. We're getting The Authority, we're getting Kingdom Come, and we're getting Batman The Long Halloween, all as compact books. So, not taking credit, but we're going to take credit.
The Long Halloween doesn't surprise me. I'm kind of surprised that they did The Authority so fast. I didn't think they would.
Yeah, I wonder if they're trying to get people ready for
the
whether it's
movie.
live action or animated, whatever it ends up being. I think they're trying to get people ready for that.
Yeah,
And,
that's so weird. From what I understand, it started as a live action movie, and now there's rumors. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I'm excited either way. I'm excited to see what comes from it. Creature Commandos was a W in my book. I had a really fun time with that show. They were the most fun 20 minutes a week that I had. Because there was always something going on. Did you watch all of Creature Commandos yet?
I've heard it was really good. I've yet to watch it. I need to.
It's worth it.
I really
it's worth
need
it.
to.
Especially next month when Invincible starts. That starts in I think 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks or something. That is coming up very fast on us, so I'm really excited. I'm back into Invincible. I finished Battle Chasers, finally. I finally finished Battle Chasers. Had a really fun time with it until I realized there's 3 more books I gotta read. So, I need to read those, because it's issues 10, 11, and 12 they ended up making?
Yes.
So I gotta finish those 3. I'm like, God damn it. But I did look at some pages from issue 10, and at the end of the trade paperback, they show a preview of the unfinished issue 10.
Yep.
And I was all excited when you told me, you're like, oh, they made floppies of them. And I was like, what? So I looked them up, was looking at the images online, and I was excited, but also a little upset that it's a different artist inside. It's not Joe Mad doing the inside art.
It's not Joe, yeah.
There is sketches of some pages from issue 10 in the trade paperback that weren't in the printed actual number 10 that I'm like, oh man, I'd love to see these sketches inked and colored, you know?
Yeah,
because it's not even the same angles that were used in the printed version. It's a completely different thing. So I was like, oh shit. I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued. Honestly, I like to see Joe come back for another run of, even if it's a mini for it, do something with either I know he's focused now on gaming and all that, but I'd like to see Joe do something in comics for one last time, one last hurrah in comics. That'd be so cool. Give him an X-Men book one more time. That'd be so sick. Or just let him do covers. I'll take covers. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I'll take covers. Yeah.
I just want to see him do some covers again, man. That'd be cool.
I'll take the Jim Lee route. Just do covers.
Yeah. Listen, man. If I hit Mega Million, all right, I am printing a one-shot comic book of my Riot character, but the cover will be by Joe Mad and the interiors by Ed McGuinness. That would be and I would make 2 copies for you and I, and that would be it. It would be the coolest comic book that we would have, you know?
Just frame it on the wall and be like, that's it.
Yeah, and just be like, yeah, that's it. Dude, I almost looked up prices to have Ed McGuinness do a headshot of Riot, and then I saw his commissions are closed because he's back doing Marvel books again. So I was like, fuck.
That's right, yeah.
But I was like, how much though? How much for a headshot? I'm curious.
Hey, which is great though. I'm glad Ed is I'm glad Ed McGuinness is back full time.
Yeah, I did see. I was a little upset because I know he worked on the first couple issues of Spider-Man, the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, and then I looked at the recent issue and he's not on it. I'm like, the art looks good, but he's not on the book anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, that's short-lived. What the hell? That didn't last very long. Honestly, I heard good things about that series. I just haven't read it yet. But what's really good, Ajax, is Ultimate Wolverine #1. That just dropped. And
I was going to say, that just dropped on Wednesday, did it not?
Yeah, last week. It was really good. Honestly, for a book that's not a Red Band book, it is bloody as fuck. Like, dudes are like brutally getting murdered by. It's Wolverine if he was the Winter Soldier. How fucking scary is that? It's literally
It's
it's
terrifying.
Wolverine brainwashed like the Winter Soldier with no remorse. That is horrifying, but such a good idea that I'm shocked hasn't been done before. It's almost like
That's what's
so
so
easy of an
great.
idea.
That's what's so great about the Ultimate Universe is you get a fresh slate,
Yeah,
fresh clean slate to do
I
anything
will
you
say
want.
some of the top things in the Ultimate Universe now are Ultimate Wolverine for sure and Spider-Man. I do like X-Men, but Ultimate Spider-Man and Wolverine are insane. I Black Panther's good, but it's too similar to just like a regular Black Panther book. You know what I mean? There's really not much
Interesting, okay.
different about it. The only thing different about the book is that he's friends with Killmonger and Storm, who are married. That's like the only thing different. And the villain is Moon Knight. So I'm like, that's the only thing that's different about it. And Moon Knight's like a god from like another world in this, sent by the Maker. But yeah, there's not
I'm
there's
kind of
not too.
intrigued by that concept.
Yeah, and the only other new thing is that like the vibranium is like a living being. It's kind of like symbiote. It like controls your thoughts and shit like that. Like there's a book
Okay.
where Black Panther's getting obsessed with the vibranium, and it's kind of making him like a brutal, like more deadly Black Panther. Kind of like what the symbiote does. It makes you more like brutal and like angry and mean. So I'm like, oh,
Sure,
that's a cool
yeah.
concept. But like everything else about it's kind of the same. Like he's close with his sister. He has his wife, and it's his father's old kingdom that now he's running. So I'm like, it's kind of similar. It's starting to pick up and be a little bit different now, where now they're opening up Wakanda to all of Africa. So I was like, oh, that's different. Finally, we're getting something new. You know, it's not like a remote thing now. He's opening up the doors for all of Africa to have their resources. It's like, all right,
okay, yeah.
that's pretty new. Okay. But yeah, I think, I think I like Spider-Man and Wolverine because they are so different. You know, they're the same but different enough, where it's completely different readings from what you get from the regular 616 universe. So, highly recommend Ultimate Wolverine Ajax. I've
Mhm.
also been on a weird kick of gimmick stuff again. Hence why when you joined this call earlier, I had these bad boys on. These 3D goggles. They're little 3D paper glasses that say DC 3D from DC Comics. And don't be confused, these aren't new, because I know they're reusing that logo again. These are from the good old 1990s, my friend.
From the 90s, is that right?
I went to the comic book shop, and in the back wall, they have like a bunch of random books together. And
Mhm.
in it, they had... It's a book I already have, but it's a variant I didn't know existed. Let me put these on. It is Superman Red and Superman Blue, but it's 3D. Get it? Because the
Oh my
glasses are red
God.
and blue. And I will
Yeah.
say, though, the effect is still pretty fucking cool. Even in, like, the year 2025, 3D glasses still are a cool gimmick. Because, like, the art fucking moves. Like, it's cool. So I opened it up today. It came in a little baggie, and the little baggie says, printed and packaged in Canada. Do not give to children. They will suffocate. Or babies.
Or babies.
And when I was opening it, I was like, this is cool. And then in the back of this was a book I got to do more research on, because it looks like the printing of this is 1997, and it's a reprint of a 50s Superman book. And it says 3-Dimension Adventures. Superman 3D lifelike action. And the entire book is in 3D.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But, dude, the 3D effect looks awesome. This gimmick needs to make a comeback. This is so fucking cool. Because, especially in this, when you move the pages, like, the art will, like, move. Like, there's a scene here with, like, it looks like fire, and, like, this moves when you, like, move the page a little bit. It's pretty fucking cool. So I don't know if Wayne knew that was also in there, but so I kind of got a 2-for-1 for this. So not gonna complain about that. Absolute W. About like a week earlier than that though, I had this in the dollar bin there found. It's called the Valiant Vision Starter Kit.
Okay.
And I think it's 3D glasses again, but they're clear. This one's actually sealed. So this Superman one was already opened.
Right.
So he sold it to me for like $3. I was like, I'll take it, whatever. I'll take it. I would have paid you 10. I don't care. This was like in the dollar bin and it's still sealed. So I just like bought it. So
How crazy is that? It's
yeah, I don't
still
want to.
sealed.
You see, it still has like the label on it. It says it has Valiant Vision starter kit, includes glasses, comic, and poster for $2.95. So I don't know what's in this still. I don't know what the poster looks like, but I have it sealed, which is pretty cool. If I can find one loose, then I'll, whatever. That'll be like my flip through one, but I'm not gonna open this.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I like stupid gimmicks. All right, I'm a sucker for this stuff, and I would have been a sucker back in the day.
Yeah, I think I would have too.
I have been on a big X kick though, dude. A little too much. On Christmas, I opened up my stocking and Santa left me a 10 comic gift pack from Ollie's.
Oh, is that right?
But in the front of it was a great cover here, and it's actually Uncanny X-Men number 281. And I was like, oh, I collect X-Men books, and I actually need this one for my collection. So put this one immediately in a bag and board, and it's in like perfect condition. So I just fucking put it right away.
I was gonna say that looks
box.
like an easy 8.
Yeah, and it's a first appearance too.
Oh, really? Oh, that's even more interesting.
Yeah, but I don't remember. It is the first appearance of Trevor Fitzroy in X-Men.
Okay.
So this was his first appearance. So that was just in my stocking. And then after that, I was like, I gotta get more X-Men books. So I picked up more gimmick covers. I picked up the badass hologram ones, which to this day, dude, I don't know how these are done. Like, there's probably like a
Right.
thing out there that explains it to you, but you look at it and it looks like a card, but it's like 3-dimensional inside. Like, I can see the side of his head and then the front of his face. So I think it's like a statue that's like used for it, because I can look under it and I can see like his chin. Like, it's really fucking weird. Like, I don't know how, like, it's so hard when you come here, I'll have to show you these in person, but it's
Yeah.
so weird. Like, it's hard to tell here, but it's like a 3-dimensional picture. You can kind of see it when I turn it there. You can see like the side of his head there, and you can see this side now. Like, it's really weird, but I bought it for that reason. Then I bought first appearance of Blink, because I think Blink's a cool character. It was like a dollar bin book. So it's the Phalanx whatever series they did, but I like Blink, so I picked that up.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm-
a Gen X crossover, right?
Yes, it is. This is actually when the Gen X
Yeah.
people were starting to show up before their series launched.
Ah, okay. I
So
got
each
you.
cover has a new Gen X member on it. It just happens to have our boy on it. Wepa! Orale! That's how they wrote him in the movie.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And then I am close. I found a expedited reading order for X-Men Age of Apocalypse. So I've been really, really badly dying to read X-Men Age of Apocalypse, but it's just so expensive to buy the trade paperbacks. I have
Yeah.
a Age of Apocalypse figure collection of every Marvel Legend they've sold of Age of Apocalypse stuff on like a trade paperback. My parents bought me that trade paperback for Christmas 2 years ago, but inside of it, someone fucking ripped the pages out. Like whoever had it last. It's not. Yeah, so there's like pages missing.
What the fuck?
I don't know if they did it to like draw or whatever, or like to post on like their wall, but there's pages missing. So I was like, fuck. I was going to try to read that first trade paperback. So what I found out, it's cheaper just to buy the floppies than to buy the trade paperback or omnibuses. Because the omnibus is
Okay.
like $100-something. And trade paperbacks are like $50 each. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like finding
Right,
the books
yeah.
for like $2-3 here or there. But someone on Reddit made an expedited reading list of books that you need to read for it and books
Okay.
you don't need to care about for it.
Okay.
So I've been going off of that, and I think I'm only missing like 4 books for it. But I was able to find in the wild the first book to kick it off, the X-Men Alpha book. It's like a or not holographic, but it's like a chrome cover, and it just looks badass. Got all the homies
Man,
on it.
that
Got
looks
Gambit on
really
it.
sick.
Yeah, Wolverine. This is the kickoff for. This is like the one I've been dying to find, and I can't find anywhere, and I finally got it. So I'm dangerously close, my friend, to completing my Age of Apocalypse collection, so I can finally read the expedited run of it. And then like I'll go back and read the side issues after, but I want to get like the main story like out the way and finally read it after all these years.
Yeah, of course, right?
Anything else you've been reading before I get into my last purchases?
I've tried it. So I finished all of the Marvel Knights of Garth Ennis.
Mm.
I finished all of that finally.
So I've been tempted. Sorry to interrupt, but I've been
No, no.
tempted because you mentioned Marvel Knights.
Yeah.
You know me, I collect like '90s books and all that, and some 2000s. I'm starting to get back into 2000s because it's like my childhood. But I'm tempted to get into like that mid to later 2000s, like Marvel Knights stuff.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
really
for sure.
tempted to, because some of the Joe Quesada Daredevil stuff looks awesome.
Insane, right?
It looks
Insane,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm trying to get my hands on those Elektra books. Like, there's so many cool Marvel Knights stuff that I'm like, fuck. And I remember you talking about that you've been reading some Marvel Knights, so I'm like, I'm tempted. I don't know. I've been trying to buy
Well,
more Marvel and DC for my retro stuff than independent recently.
yeah. Well, I'm like I said, I've just mainly been reading Marvel Knights like Punisher because I love Garth Ennis. I'm a big Garth Ennis guy.
Yeah.
Um, I told you I read Huck. I read all of Huck, which is by
Yes.
Mark Millar, not Mark Miller. Mark
Malar.
Millar. Mark
Yes.
Millar.
Who also
I
worked
really,
on Civil War, I think. Right? Yeah.
yes, he
Yeah.
was. He did work on
Which I
that.
do have.
Uh,
We might have to touch on Civil War eventually.
yeah, I really liked Huck. It had a lot of heart to it,
Yeah.
which was surprising considering who the writer was. But it had a lot of heart. I really enjoyed it.
That's good at least.
Yeah, like
But I
it was
know a book
just
you read that wasn't good.
oh my god, yeah. So I read a book from it's published by Image. It's called The Pervert. It's one of the worst comic books I've ever fucking read in my life.
I'll
It's
send you.
so
Hey,
bad.
when you come, I'll let you borrow Holy Terror for a night.
Oh man. I'm so excited for
You can
that.
compare which one's
Yeah,
worse.
yeah. No, The Pervert is really awful. I mean, it's they're all anthropomorphic characters,
Hmm.
right? So they're all like they all look like bunnies or something similar to that nature,
Which I
right?
think Image has done again with a. Oh no, was it Image called Unnatural? They did another thing like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so the basis of the story is that this sex worker is kind of struggling with like their identity.
Hmm.
They don't know if they're a man, they don't know if they're a woman, but just, they just don't feel
Which is a good
comfortable.
concept.
It's a good concept in theory. The problem is that the main character is so fucking unlikable. Just so like the way that they talk, the way that they treat people is just so despicable. There's nothing likable about the main character.
You're like, I don't want to read about them finding happiness.
the The most interesting character in the book is someone named Tom, and Tom is like the 60-year-old man who keeps hiring the main character to quote unquote hook up with them because he's lonely. He just doesn't have anyone because his wife passed away, and then later on you find out in the book that actually his wife was a transgendered woman.
Hmm.
So like in a sense he keeps hooking up with the main character because the main character reminds him of his wife, even
Yeah.
though they're nothing alike, but just that similarity of the main character being a transgender woman just
Yep.
kind of reminds Tom of his wife.
Yeah. So it kind of makes him happy.
And it's kind of sweet the way like Tom treats the main character. Like he's very respectful. He's really nice. He's like, I understand what you're going through. Like, you're transitioning and all that, but um, don't move in with your dad. Like, don't move back to Detroit and move in with your dad. If you move in with me, you'll be like a lot safer.
Yeah.
And the main character was just like, oh, that's nice, Tom, but I never liked you that way.
What the fuck?
But I never liked you
Yeah,
that
Tom,
way.
go fuck yourself.
I never liked you that way. Anyways, I'm gonna move with my dad to Detroit, and that's how the fucking book ends.
What?
That's how it ends.
What?
It's like there's no like happy ending. There's no like, oh yeah, the main character's like really happy with their decision. Blah 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 blah. No, the main character moves in with her fucking dad to Detroit
You're like, great.
because that's the only option that she has left because she pissed everyone else off. It's oh my god, this book is so fucking infuriating to read, and it has all these like critically acclaimed reviews, and I'm like, where? Where are these fucking reviews coming from? Are
Yeah,
they paid?
same with Holy Terror. No, I'm kidding. I've
Like,
had that a lot too, where like I hear a book's really good and then I read it and I'm like, it's all right. Crazy.
you know what though? I would take the "it's all right" because after I read this, I was like, no, it's not all right. It's fucking bad.
I need this time of my life back.
Yeah, like I spent 20 minutes reading this shit. I want it back. It's fucking horrible.
Oh my god.
I would no, I would not recommend it.
Hashtag not recommend. Well,
I will tell you. Hold. I don't mean to cut you off there.
oh no.
I will tell you something that was good that I read though, and it was a one shot from Vertigo Comics,
What was it?
and it's called Dan Peter. It's called Dan Peter Stillborn,
What?
and it's written by Nancy A. Collins, who's a famous vampire novelist. She's known for the Sonia Blue novels. She's very well known for that.
Really?
So this is a one shot produced by Vertigo, written by Nancy, and it's about this guy who doesn't exactly fit in. I guess you could say like he's always struggling. He's always struggling. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
really know who his parents are. Like he thought he had a sister, but turns out his sister's actually his mom. And his grandma, who he thought he was, the grandma who he thought like raised him and was his mom is actually, like I said, his grandma, like not his mom whatsoever. I don't know. There's a lot of like interesting moving parts to this book. That's a really good vampire comic that I feel like
Really?
isn't really talked about. Yeah.
Vampire comics are so underrated. There needs to be so much more because I think vampires are such a cool concept. I mean, my first comic I ever did and got printed was a vampire book. So I
Mhm.
think vampire comics are so like there needs to be so much more than what there is now. Like we got some of like Vampire the Masquerade books, but I don't know, man. I feel like there needs to be a lot more nowadays. The vampires are making a little bit of a comeback though. Like the goth black latex vampires, they're making a bit of a comeback with the cool trench coats.
I was gonna say there's an entire Vampire the Masquerade series written by your boy Tim
Mhm.
Seeley.
And I found out that you remember like Vampire the Masquerade used to have these things called clan books, and it was of each different
I
clan.
do
Like
remember that.
yeah, so I have those. I have like the actual books, but I found out there was clan comic books also
Oh, I did not
based
know
on
that.
based on each different group. They had their own
Okay.
comic, and I was like, whoa! And the comic covers look like the book covers, like the green, cool looking book covers. And I was like,
Mhm.
what? I need to find these. They're from like the 90s. I'm like, this is awesome. I need this. This is like peak Vampire the Masquerade.
Right. Sounds sick.
So I need to get my hands on those. I don't know how I'm gonna, but I need to. I have been buying something dumb though to flesh out my collection because I looked at my collection, Ajax, and I said, you know what? I don't have a lot of Spider-Man books. in my
Same.
collection.
And I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, funny enough, but I don't have enough Spider-Man books.
So for me, I am a huge Scarlet Spider fan. But I also am a fan of Kane. I think Kane is cool. I remember when we did the episode with Martyr, and Martyr's question was, have you read a lot of Kane? And you asked me too, and I was like, no. Since then I have, and Kane he looks cool. Not wrestler Kane.
Yeah.
Clone
No.
Kane.
Yeah, Peter's brother, Kane.
Yes. So I was at the comic shop with my uncle, and I was like, let me look at some Spider-Man stuff. I don't really look at Spider-Man stuff a lot. I mostly look at, X-Men, Image, and a lot of, like, the independent books. So I was like, I don't really dip into Spider-Man a lot. So I got some books, man, and so I got this cool one. It was a cool cover. The Spectacular Scarlet Spider. I just love the art. I love when, like, comic art meets, like, street art.
Yeah.
I just think it looks cool. Picked it up. Instant buy, right? Then I saw this cover, and I know what this cover is. This was the very, very convoluted, controversial Spectacular Spider-Man number 226, where they reveal that the Peter you've been reading all these years is actually the clone, and the clone Peter is the real Peter.
We got you, cocksucker.
Yeah. So I saw this. They had it there for $3, and I was like, oh boy. So I got it. It's like an iconic cover. But they also had this there, which was the beginning of a lot of this stuff. And Web of Spider-Man. But it was like if you look, it's like a reflective variant. So I was like, oh, it has to be like the facsimiles do that all the time. And then I looked, and I'm like, oh, this never had a facsimile version. So on the CLZ app, you could scan the barcode, and this is a legit. They legit just sold it like this in the 90s. So I bought it. Okay. So yeah, I was like, cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, another iconic cover. And then another one. I've actually been wanting this one for quite a bit, because it's just cool. It's another Web of Spider-Man cover, the Web of Life storyline. It's got a very cool image of Kane in the middle. Got Scarlet Spider here. It's the best of both those worlds combined. So cool cover. It just sucks that these two characters I like are part of like the worst Spider-Man story of all time besides One More Day. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think the worst one is what's it? Is it? Oh, fuck, I'm trying to remember. The one where fucking Green Goblin has sex with Gwen Stacy. That's the worst one. I think that's.
Is that not One More Day, or is that One More Day? Because One More Day is the one where Peter. That's the one that ruins Spider-Man for all time. That's the one where he makes a deal with the devil.
With Mephisto.
Yeah, to literally make people forget about him. One. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's not the same one though.
That's the one
that's pretty bad.
That's the one that caused Mary Jane to end up with fucking Peter. Like now they can never be together since that book because he gave up his relationship and all that. Like it's just like
Joe Quesada.
Yeah, it's gone downhill since that. And then as I was talking about I need more Marvel books, no more independent stuff, but I was still in the Spider-Man vein. In the Spider-Man books, they had a combo, an image book, Backlash and Spider-Man, and I was like, whoa!
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
So I bought it immediately because Backlash is cool.
Who's drawing that?
I don't know, man, but it's a great fucking cover.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's only a 2-part book. They only had part 1, so I'm gonna try to see if I could find part 2 somewhere. Let me see if it has any information about the cover artist for this, because I do want to give props, because this shit's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I think it looks really good.
So Brett Booth did the art inside. I think he did the cover too.
Really?
I typed in Brett Booth art, in the minute it's just a woman's butt cheeks.
That's sick. That's some Frank Cho stuff right there.
It is Brett Booth. So Brett Booth did do the art for this, which is fucking insanely cool. His Spider-Man looks crazy cool.
Yeah, his Spider-Man is,
And it falls into my thing. I'm like, it's technically still Ben Reilly. It's Scarlet Spider, so I fucking got it. I was like, it's cool, man. One of my top Spideys. So that's been my month of the end of last year and the beginning of this new year. That's what I've been buying, man. It's a good. I've been all over the place with what I'm buying, but it's because I'm looking at my collection. I'm like, fuck, I'm starting to get way too many I also picked up issues of Overstreet magazine. They had a magazine that was rivaling Wizard at the time, and I'm like, it's a good magazine.
They still do Overstreet.
So now,
I'm pretty sure.
So it's the Overstreet Price Guide that they've done for a million years, but Overstreet Price Guide had a magazine that was separate, that specialized in articles and breaking news, just like Wizard. It was supposed to be the Wizard's competition. It was the more professional Wizard, kind of like the Comics Journal. This was this was in the middle of Wizard and Comics Journal, that even ground, but it was a good mag. I got one issue of it. It was hyping up Ninjak #1. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
And Ninjak's on the cover. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I found out they only have 21 issues, so I might just pick them all up eventually, because it's a very easy to collect, series. 21 issues of a magazine. But I picked it up and I was like, it's a good read. It's very professional, but it doesn't have the same quippiness of Wizard, the smart assiness, which I'm like, a lot of people hated, but it made it entertaining. The articles weren't boring, It wasn't like reading a newspaper.
Far from boring, yeah.
That was, So, I was like, that's why I like Wizard, but it was still a really good magazine. I also picked up some issues of Amazing Heroes, which was a really popular comic magazine of the 80s and early 90s. It got phased out when Wizard got popular, But
Sure.
it's one of the only few things I have in my collection that really highlight the 80s era of comic books. So it's talking
Okay.
about some books my dad grew up with that were coming out. And I'm like, this is cool, you know? Because I don't have a lot of 80s books. I mostly collect 90s. A lot of the 80s books I own are from my dad's personal collection from when he was younger. So I'm
Right.
like, you know, I don't know if I'll end up going back and collecting 80s books, but there's some that like pop up on the radar in there. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, you know?
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, so it's like my representation of 80s books that I got for a little bit, you know. I don't know. It's cool, but I'm kind of been all over the place, dude. I've just been whenever I see something I like, if it's cheap, I buy it, you know. It's one of the few collections I can see something and if I want it right there on the spot, I can buy. So
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing
except
wrong
for
with that at all.
except for the expensive books. I did go to the shop and I asked behind they have, you know, the big pricey books behind the counter. And I was like, "Yeah, how much is that Marvel Secret Wars number 8, the first appearance of the Black Spidey suit?" And I was like, "This shit's about to be like $300 fucking dollars." Dude,
More.
he turned
More.
it to me. He turned around to me and he goes, "It's 150."
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
What? So I need to look at it again to make sure cuz I found out the facsimiles go for like fucking $60, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
You can get a
actually.
dude. You can sell your facsimile book of that for like anywhere from $60 to $100. So I have to look at it to make sure it's not that. If it's a legitimate copy, with my tax refund, I might go pick up that book because that's just like that's an all timer. I gotta. If I can get that, I have to. You know.
Yeah.
But then next to it was the Raphael one shot, which in my heart I love. For people who don't know, it's the first appearance of motherfucking Casey Jones.
Of course.
That was $200, and I was like, oof. Not, and these are not graded, by the way. These are just raw books.
Raws.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I was like,
Imagine what they are
oof.
graded. It's probably double that.
Whew, dude, I was like, all right, I can live without that for a little bit. I have the trade paperback that has the first appearance in it, so I was like, all right, I can live without it, you know? But the minute I saw that raffle thing and I saw $300 store credit, I was like, that'll pay for both those books.
Easy.
I'm about to become a gambler there, man. Gabe, I just spent $300. I'm trying to get the $300 credit. So I spent $300 to try to get it. I was like, man, if I get that, I would only have to pay $50. I was like, whoa, game changer. So yeah, there's some gems you find. They also had like, they had that iconic Superman cover, like the actual book where he's like busting out the chains, like the kryptonite chains.
Okay.
You know, like that iconic cover where he's just like that. I'm trying to think if I can find it. Yeah, Action Comics number 233. They had the legitimate copy there.
Really?
Yeah, of this one here. But the issue, I saw it was like $25, and I was like, what? And then I looked at it close and I realized half of the cover is gone.
Oh.
So,
okay.
but you can see him ripping through the chains, but it says the amazing new super, and then it's ripped. So it says like crypt nevermore, and then like it stops. But I'm like, for like 25, like I can still have this iconic book. Yeah, it's half the cover, but like I still have the book. Some people have graded books that don't even have a cover. And it's like, you know what I mean? I was trying to
right
warn
about
it
that,
in
yeah.
my head, you know? I was really trying to warn it in my head, but I was like, I ended up leaving it. But who knows? Down the line, if I just say fuck it, who knows? It's iconic. It's iconic. You could still see him breaking it. So I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
80% there. Okay, I lied. It's like 60% there. So, I don't know. There's some cool stuff at the shop I've been stumbling upon recently. So, can't wait to tag you along and have you come with me. Dude, maybe we'll do some videos. Hitting up some shops.
That would be fun. I'd really enjoy that.
Some vlogs.
Hunting with the boys.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
That'd be sick. There's some cool stores here. So take you to my home shop. You can meet Wayne, the homie. Dude, oh man, what if Wayne lets us record a podcast episode in the studio?
Oh, that'd be
like in the shop. Like we go to his shop and record it in his shop.
I'd pay him for it.
Dude, I'm gonna have to talk to him. That could be his wedding gift to me.
On that.
That could be his wedding gift for me.
Yeah.
You and I can record in person in a shop.
Fuck it. Hey, if he wants to be involved, we'll have him involved too.
That'd be cool. Like get like oh man, like a perspective of an actual shop owner who's been running a shop for over 30 years. That'd be cool.
That would be fun. Yeah, I like that. You sold me already.
I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. Him and I are close. I'm gonna have to talk to him.
I love that idea.
But Ajax, topic today. There's been some. I was looking at the comics landscape, and I was like, man, there's a lot of heroes that are just getting like redone over and over again.
Yeah.
Characters like Batman just keep getting rebooted constantly and don't have any growth. But every once in a while, something slips through the cracks, and there's a character who is able to age and have growth and become their own character, breaking off from that big character. Becoming, I guess you could call them a legacy character. They're a legacy of Batman's family or a Superman character.
Sure.
And they become their own thing to the point where people are discussing who's going to take up their own mantle down the line, which piqued my interest too. But I want to look at what are some best legacy characters that you and I could come up with. If you would like, I do have, I can start with one.
Sure,
and it's
you start and then we'll go off from there.
Yeah, and at the same time I do have a comic book resources article up of 10 best legacy characters that are better than the original. But the way they look at legacy characters is like someone that took up the actual mantle of like say like a Batman or something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
like
which I guess if you want to include that, you can, because I guess that counts as legacy. But I think of it as someone that like went on to become their own thing. Like my example is Nightwing. I think a character like Nightwing has gone on to become someone that is popular in their own right, away from Batman. And I would classify him as a legacy character, showing that he is probably one of the best things to come out of the Batman title of all time.
I
and
would say so.
That's not just me because he's my favorite DC character, but
you know,
I think his own series that he's had can back up that fact. It's probably one of DC's best-selling series. It's still an ongoing single series he's doing. He's not like left in the background. In Absolute Power, he was leading the powerless heroes. There was a great scene in that where all the heroes are like, well, we don't have powers. Like, we don't know what we're going to do. Like, we don't know how to manage a team without superpowers. And as they're trying to figure this out, Nightwing's like, all right, everybody, listen up. And he, like, does a whole speech getting everyone, like, pumped up. He's like, Superman, you go team up with this person. And fucking, you go team up with Starfire, this person. And he's, like, telling them what to do. And they cut the Batman, and he smirks, and he just says, that's my boy. And I'm like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, and it's to the point, someone was on Twitter talking about, like, which is a cool conversation on Twitter, shockingly. And it was actually one where...
Very shocking.
Yeah, and it was one where people weren't arguing. It was, like, actually pretty cool. They were talking about characters that could take the Nightwing mantle. And I was like, whoa, like, we're at that point with the Nightwing character where that is, like, a conversation people are having, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah,
where,
that's
like,
interesting.
Nightwing gets old, retires, someone has to take up the mantle. And someone posted a cool picture, and it was... Terry McGinnis found a suit in Batman's warehouse, and it's him popping up out of nowhere, and he goes, the Nightwing strikes again. And it's Terry dressed as Nightwing, which me in 2004 would have been like,
Right,
that would have blew my fucking mind, man. That would have been so cool, because I loved Batman Beyond growing up, and I love Nightwing. That would have been, like, game-changing.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I think Nightwing as a Batman, as a legacy character springing off of Batman, is a good example of what I think is like one of the best legacy characters of all time.
Easily.
Another one, too, to give you another example, I would say is Steel. I think Steel is a really good one. That spawned off of Superman. I think he's become his own thing in a way where you can have a Steel book and not really have to have him associated with the Super family, because he already is such a dynamic character in his own right, taking care of his daughter, who now is Steel also. There's 2 Steels.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess his daughter also counts as a legacy character in a way.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
yeah, so I think that's another one that he spawned off of Superman, but now has someone that spawned off of him.
Yeah.
I would take a Steel movie again, done right, or even like a TV show of Steel.
You don't like the one with Chad? Really? Oh,
I-
man, Shad's gonna be really mad when he hears that.
He's gonna be pissed. Hey man, I make a really good movie. What are you talking about?
Hey man, why didn't you like my movie? Why didn't you like my movie, man?
Hey man, it was a really good movie. Hey man, I think you should watch it again. It's a really good movie.
I worked real hard on that movie.
Hey man, you should buy it on streaming. But yeah, I think because he's like a character like Green Lantern, John Stewart Green Lantern. Let me make it more exact. That has a very grounded, down to earth story, like for his background, where through and through at the end, John Stewart was a hardworking dude who just wanted to take care of his mom and his family and the farm he used to grow up on. And then you look at Steel, and he was someone that just grew up in a bad neighborhood that wanted to do good by it, become one of the smartest people. He was a scientist in some books. So I think it's a really cool like rags to riches type of story you can do with Steel.
Yeah, for
Who
sure.
is so different and separate. He's not just a name change from Superman. Honestly, if they went forward after the death of Superman with someone, like, even though I love Superboy, I think Steel would have been the one to go with because he's just cool.
Yes.
Was there any you could think of though for legacy characters?
So it really depends on what the definition is, because I was
Yeah.
thinking like I really like Renee Montoya. She's the second question.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she would
Yes.
count as a legacy character. Ben Riley, because he's technically the second Spider-Man.
The GOAT. I
Even
had him on my
though-
list too.
Even though he was supposed to be the original one, but they retconned that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Another one we've talked about actually on the show, I think, too, is Tim Drake as Robin. I think because I mean, it's to the point where it's the year 2025. They've dropped the Red Robin gimmick, and he's just back as Robin again.
I was actually going to talk about that.
He is
I was gonna
just
talk about
Robin.
how I love Tim Drake, but I just hate that his alter ego is Red Robin.
Yeah.
And I get that it's supposed to be a tribute to Kingdom Come,
Yes.
because in Kingdom Come it's Red Robin. I understand, but I just think it sucks as an alter ego for him.
I hear and I think of the
it just
food
doesn't
place.
sound. Yeah, that too. That too, yeah.
Well, it's like I said, it's to the point where even DC's dropped that, and he's just Robin. There's just 2 Robins. There's Robin, and then there's Damian.
Yeah, which
We're just like, what? I mean, can we talk about that downfall really quick of Tim Drake, though? Because listen, Tim Drake, people don't realize this. Everyone loves, Dick Grayson as Robin and all that. But if you're our age, Ajax, your Robin was Tim Drake, whether people want to believe it or not. You can try to tell yourself it was Dick Grayson. It wasn't. It was Tim Drake. The designs were the Tim Drake design.
Mhm.
All the comics that were out were the Tim Drake books. He was Robin forever until Damian showed up? Was that when?
Yeah,
Was
Damian
that when
showed up
they went away with it?
Yeah, I want to say Damian showed up in like 2006, 2007, around that.
So yeah, but I mean, the whole time it was Tim. Tim was the Robin at the time.
Yeah.
So that's the one we grew up with. So and it's nowadays like no one even knows he exists. I feel like people forget about him now.
Which is weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's a big downfall. They tried to give him something a couple years ago, but it flopped. It didn't go anywhere, unfortunately.
I'm a big Superboy guy, but Superboy, how would you describe it? post Golden Age. So
Mm-hmm.
like when they reintroduce him, I think during Death of Superman.
Yep. Yep.
That's the version of Superboy that
The
I love.
cocky, arrogant
Which
Superboy.
exactly, which is what we still have now.
Yeah. He's a little bit more humble now, though. He's not as cocky and arrogant. He's still like confident in himself, but
Yeah.
because he was so arrogant, Clark made him go stay with the Kents. So he lives with the Kents now in the books.
See, I haven't. Okay, see, I haven't read any modern Superboy, but
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, his I would say read his recent series. I think he's getting a new series coming up soon this year.
He got one
but
last year, right?
yeah, so he had one. It was
Yeah.
either last year or the year before, but it was
Mhm.
really good. It was about him being lost in the shuffle because there's so many super people, and he felt like he just didn't fit in. Like there was nothing he would do because every time he would go somewhere, Superman would show up. There'd be a fire.
course.
Supergirl would be there. There'd be another like a building about to fall on someone.
Steel.
John Kent would show up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like, okay, Steel and his daughter would come together. And he's like, oh my God, there's two of them. So it's like, and that's when he's like, I'm going to go to another planet and be their savior. And then it just didn't work out. And it was the whole point of the story was that, you know, they need, because then they found out like they worried about where he went and they found they
Yeah.
needed him and he needed them. And it was like a big, you know, nice family story. So I would definitely check it out. It adds a lot of depth.
Heartwarming.
Yeah, it adds a lot of depth to Superboy, and he kind of realizes like how much he's needed and loved in the Super family. So, and it gives him a chance to be a Superman for another planet. You get to see him do that for a couple issues, which is pretty cool. And he learns
that
and he
does
makes
seem
some
cool.
mistakes, and it's cool. Yeah, he was actually on my list too here, Superboy. I would also throw in. I would argue these two people have surpassed, shockingly, the people whose mantles they took up. First one.
There's one I'm almost sure you're gonna say Wally West.
So that is one. That is one. It frustrates me because people write Barry like he's Wally, and he's not.
Yes, which
That
is
frustrates
weird.
me to no end.
It's
Dude.
weird.
The quirky, joking, fumbly idiot that likes to crack jokes and all that. That's Wally.
Yeah,
It's not Barry.
it's not Barry.
And they write him like that every time. Like people that
Yes.
grew up watching like Justice League Unlimited and stuff, that was Wally. Like that. Oh man, yeah. It frustrates me. Like I love the Flash show, but I'm like, man, that he's not Barry though. Barry was a lot more serious about what he did. It's like
Yeah,
he's
for
like
sure.
he's like the OG Blue Beetle. I would put them on the same plane. They were very like they could crack a joke, but they were more serious and about their science and everything they did. Meanwhile, Wally and Jaime are like the jokey, funny versions of those same characters, you know? I will say, Blue Beetle, that's another one on this list I didn't have on that just clicked in my head. Jaime has completely surpassed the OG Blue Beetle, I will say.
Yeah, definitely.
Which, rightfully so, he's a really fun character. He's basically like DC Spider-Man, and I'm cool with that. I love the movie. People, that had the unfortunate reality of people knowing the DC movies, like that universe was ending, so no one cared. And by then, Flash came out, people weren't happy. Aquaman came out, people were iffy about it. And then this came out, and it was actually a good movie, but they were just like, we're over it, which is
And
so
no one saw
unfortunate.
it.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because luckily, though, James Gunn did confirm that he's coming back to play Jaime on the new DCU stuff because how good he did in those movies, which I'm okay with. You can't let that go to waste. He was so good as Blue Beetle.
Honestly, yeah.
So I'm okay with him keeping him, even though people are going to be like, but that's confusing. It's really not. Let's just forget it
No.
and just... It was one movie, and let's just focus on what's coming. But I think that, yeah, that movie's super underrated. But the two I had on my list that were, I think, have surpassed the previous characters. One of them might be not controversial, but debated. You might even debate it, but I would say Kamala Khan has surpassed Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel.
Interesting. Okay.
I would say, because everyone associates Carol now with Captain Marvel,
True.
who is a legacy character in their own right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when the mantle of Miss Marvel went to Kamala, I feel like if you say Miss Marvel now, people are going to think Kamala, as opposed
I'll
to
I'll
the
give you
blonde-haired.
this. I'll give you this. When Carol was Miss Marvel, she was never an A-list character. She was a B-list character.
Yeah.
This Kamala as Miss Marvel is an A-list character.
Yeah, they treat her as such, which I think is good. I think they should.
Yeah.
It's cool. And the other one, which I think you might debate, but maybe not, based on how things are going in pop culture, Miles Morales.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that
I'd
one's...
say if he hasn't surpassed, I'd say he is on par like with Peter Parker. People, if
I'd,
you say,
I'd say he's neck and neck.
yeah, like if you say you like Spider-Man, people are gonna ask which one. You know?
Yeah, we're at that point. We're
Yeah,
at that point for sure.
yeah. I think we're at that point now where Marvel wanted to be 10 years ago when they introduced him.
Yeah.
Where they were like, all right, let's retire Peter. I feel like now you could have Peter hang the boots up and people would be like, you know what? We're already mad at Peter's stories enough anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm cool with them going the route of they did with Spider-Girl, having Peter join like law enforcement or something, be a cop or something. I'd be okay with that. I mean, it was like that in that weird Alex Ross
Oh, yeah.
book. He was a cop in that too, and he was a cop in Spider-Girl. So he tended to trend towards joining law enforcement and things. So I would be cool with that. Or if he just stayed at running like a lab or something. Like I know he had his own enterprises for a while. He ran his own lab for many years, and then that seemingly was forgotten about. No one cares about that anymore.
How about he just works with Reed at Baxter Building?
Yeah, literally.
Could do that because
Or
he's always been close with the Fantastic Four.
Very true. That would be really cool, actually. I would like that a lot. But
Like
I
him
think
and
you can
Johnny.
do that comfortably now, where even if Peter's like a part-timer, you know? He'll show up
Yeah,
once
yeah,
in a while to
exactly.
give some tips and hints, you know, to help Miles out. Or because now you have Spider-Boy, and people are starting to grow with Spider-Boy, and people actually kind of like Spider-Boy now. I liked him since day one, but a lot of people were iffy about him. But I think he's become his own character enough where people like Spider-Boy and Miles. So I'm like,
I'm gonna shout out my buddy John here. I was asking him. I was like, "What do you think about Spider-Boy?" He was like, "The industry plan."
I see it as Marvel's opportunity to take advantage of that deal they made with DC for the amalgams. I swear to God. Because when they announced the amalgam reprints are coming out, Spider-Boy was reintroduced as a new character.
And there was a Spider-Boy in the Amalgam comics.
Yeah, who is now dead in canon. He was killed.
True.
So I'm like,
True, yeah.
I'm okay with it being an industry plan. But I'm like, I think of industry plan. I'm like, isn't any character made up an industry plan?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't you classify like Miles as that too?
And in a way, yeah, you could classify him as that.
Because I mean, he was like immediately put in and like pushed to the main event in wrestling terms.
yeah.
At least with
basically.
Superboy, he was like, he accepts that he's Spider-Man's sidekick and he's like cool with it. He's like, he likes to see himself as like his Robin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I like Spider-Boy. I think he's a cool character. He's a Spider-Man without like, it's cool to see Spider-Man have like a power and not have like webs, which is pretty interesting. Because usually, you know, you think of Spider-Man being just a normal guy with, I say powers, but like powers that he can like bite people and put venom into their like blood to knock them out, to make them unconscious. So he has like actual like spider powers, but he doesn't have webs yet. And Peter won't give him webs because he's too young to have spider webs. Peter doesn't want him swinging around New York City as a 10-year-old, which is responsible. I get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
but it's like a big point in the books where I think they're building to it. Because, like, he's going around with Daredevil, and Daredevil's like, can you web him? And he's like, I can't. I can just punch them really hard. He's like, Peter hasn't given me that yet. So, but no, I think he's a cool character. He's different enough. He's not just like a young Spider-Man. He's like a test tube alien creature, which is pretty cool.
I guess that could be an interesting layer of 616 Peter, is that he had his own sidekick.
Yeah, and that's what this is now. He's just like, he's under his wing, kinda. Like, Peter will come in and help him, give him some tips. Like, they had an issue with Kidpool. Kidpool showed up. And Spider-Boy was like, yeah, this girl came and, like, tried to, like, shoot me and kill me. And she just wouldn't shut up. And Spider-Man was like, what's her name? And he goes, Kidpool. And Spider-Man, you see his eyes get big, you know, the big Spider-Man eyes. And he's like, stay away from anything with the name Pool. They are so annoying. He goes, if you think we're annoying, they are annoying. He's like, get away from them immediately. But the whole book is about Kid Pool falling in love with Spider-Boy, and she like has a crush on him. And like the whole time he's like, get away, get away. But by the end of the book, he's like, she like is killing and shooting all these like these like dragons. And you see Spider-Boy, and he's like, I think I'm in love with her too. And then when he tells her that, he's like, hey, do you want to like go out sometime? She goes, nah, I think I'm over you. And she's like, I kind of just like love myself. I'm pretty cool. It's like a really fun, like, it's a cutesy story. It's a really fun time. But it's funny because like she like shoots like this dinosaur hybrid with a human, and it just kills it, like shoots it between the eyes. And Spider-Boy's like, what the fuck did you just do? And she's like, I killed it. Like, if I didn't, they would like kill everyone in the city. And Spider-Man's like, we don't do that. And she's like, yeah, well, I do. Like, I solve problems. And Spider-Man's like, what the fuck is going on? It's his first time really like dealing with someone killing people, and he's like, what the fuck? It's a really fun time. I would check out that one shot. It's really fun. So
it sounds fun. You sold me on it.
Yeah, they're having fun with Spider-Boy's becoming like really his own character now. I would definitely say it took a bit. Like now I think he's on issue 12 or 13 or something. It took like a while to get there, but he is his own character now. So I would recommend it if you get your hands on a trade paperback. Cuz his backstory is like really sad. He's like a homeless kid for a while and all that. It was like, yeah. It was very different from what you get out of a Spider-Man book, so yeah, so like I said, Miles, Kamala, I definitely put them as top legacy characters as well. I guess you could also throw Kyle Rayner in there too.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
I guess, but I think if you're talking about Green Lanterns, you'd want to talk about John Stewart more than Kyle. So I guess that title will have to go to John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I will say the coolest. I like Kyle Rayner. He's my favorite Lantern because he could make cool constructs because he was like a comic book artist, so he can make like dragons and shit. Whatever he could draw, he can make a construct of. That was a cool thing to me. So, but yeah, so that was our little list there. I don't know if you could think of any more, but
it's just such a loose definition.
Yeah, like, cause that was the tough part about this. I had to like try to come up with like my own personal definition of like what a legacy character was, but even then, it kind of was like. It opened the door to so many things. I'm like, all right, does that mean like, because like Nightwing was Robin, became his own thing, but I'm like, would that mean like Azrael falls in there? Like, it's such a weird thing. Cause it can't just be like any character, but
because Azrael was Batman.
Yeah, he was Batman. Wasn't a good Batman, but he's Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a cool looking Batman.
He was. He really was.
But. I do like what they kept. They did introduce something in the movies from that Batman, and Dark Knight when he shot the fucking things in the Joker's face.
Oh
into Heath Ledger's face. That's from Azrael Batman with the fucking things that shoot out of him, his fucking arm.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He shoots batarangs out at like rapid speed through his gauntlet. So I read all of Nightfall, and it definitely is something. They don't try to have you like him, which I was confused why it's like contested of, oh, he was a failed Batman. I'm like, no, they like wanted you to hate him from day one, and I don't get why. I don't know if that's them like giving like a middle finger to like Image or something.
It kind of felt like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like, oh, your guy's design. Yeah, he was straight out of a fucking McFarlane, Spawn book.
I felt like he looked a lot like Shadowhawk.
He did look a lot like Shadowhawk. He looked like Shadowhawk in blue.
Yeah.
Like, he was such an edgy character to the point where it was like, he got caught in a fire, and he walked out of the flames in his suit now being red. I'm like, what?
I will say, though.
Turned red. I'm like, it's cool, but like, what?
They made him into a better character. Like after, like after Nightfall, they really like fleshed him out and everything. He became a better character
because they kind of reverted back to what they started with, sort of Azrael, and they kind of just like reverted back to that when they introduced him in that mini. Yeah, like him in the games was badass. Like the really soft spoken, like angelic, almost like savior kind of thing. He was cool.
Which wasn't the original Azrael, from what I remember. It's not Jean-Paul Val. It's the other one.
Yeah, I forgot his name though. But yeah, no, I think Azrael was saved heavily after Nightfall. They salvaged that, luckily. But he's another character now. Nowadays, it's like you're lucky if you find anything with Azrael, which is crazy to me because I feel like a lot of people know who Azrael is. I don't know.
Yeah, like he's not like some obscure character.
Yeah, he's in video games. Like he's not in any movies yet, but who knows? Knowing James Gunn, he probably will end up in it. He is definitely a James Gunn style character. So
I would love to see him in a movie.
yeah. And they also, on this list, they mention Mr. Terrific, Michael Holt, which is the current Mr. Terrific, being better than Terry Sloan. And I'm like, there was another Mr. Terrific?
Yeah, I did not know. See, it's not a character that I'm super familiar with, to be fair. That's kind of a blind spot for me.
There was another Mr. Terrific. Oh my god, and he looked like a fucking idiot. Look at this nerd. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him compared to the actual cool Mr. Terrific. Oh, yeah, look at... I forgot, 'cause I know his sleeve says fair play. It says it on his chest. Whoa.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I hate this old Mr. Terrific. New Mr. Terrific's way cooler.
Honestly.
I didn't even know there was another Mr. Terrific. Okay. Look at that. Learn something new. Yeah, current day Mr. Terrific is badass, and you can see him in a movie coming out soon.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, he's way cooler. Fuck this other guy. He sucks. Honestly, I feel like this is the one James Gunn would have put in like a fucking Suicide Squad movie or something.
And
he loves his,
like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he loves his goofy characters. And the thing is, like, he takes goofy characters, but he makes them like entertaining. Like, who would have thought everyone would like Polka Dot Man?
I am shocked he hasn't done Snowflake yet.
Dude, very shocked.
No, is it Snowflake or is it Snowflame? I think it's Snowflame.
I think it's the coked out one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the one whose literal superpower is that
cocaine?
He feeds off of cocaine. Yeah.
This image.
I'm shocked that he hasn't done that.
I'm shocked DC brought him back recently.
Yeah, he was in the newest Peacemaker solo series.
Dude, they brought him in a book recently. You could see the dust around the nose and shit. Like, they didn't shy away from it. Look at it. He's just fucking snorting coke still. I thought they would, like, kind of, like, calm down with it. But no, he comes out like, Snowflame's here, baby. Like,
I love that they're embracing it. I love it.
Honestly, I'd like to see Snowflame show up in a Suicide Squad movie or something.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see that.
So, I think he's a very underrated character. Oh, look, he did do something here with Peacemaker. So,
yeah, he showed up in the newest Peacemaker series.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're prepping for something. Who knows? Damn, dude. If Snowflake shows up in season 2 of Peacemaker, dude.
Could you imagine?
I'm gonna go crazy. Oh, yeah, he did show up like this. He showed up like a Miami Vice looking dude. And then I do remember, when he snorts the coke, he turns into regular Snowflame. Like he bursts out of the clothes and shit. He's got the AW Dynamite rainbow smoke behind him.
Greatest DC Comics character ever.
Underrated, dude. We need more Snowflame.
Really do.
Oh, I gotta try to get my hands on some books for him. I gotta find the one he debuts in his first appearance and see if I get my hands on that.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
There's a great picture here. I am Snowflame. Every cell of my being burns with white-hot ecstasy. Cocaine is my god. It's so metal. Oh, man. This dude definitely like went on tour with Van Halen and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Cocaine is my god.
It says God, man.
And when he talks, his words are like one word because he talks fast because he's all coked up.
Yeah.
But to my regret, I have a job to do. Places to go, people to see. What a boss, dude. I love this guy. That might be one of the few 80s books I get is a Snowflame book.
Right.
Oh man. Well, Ajax, we are in the era of comics now where I feel like crossovers aren't too out of the what is the word? What do I want to say? Out of the realm of a possibility.
Sure.
Because recently there has been some teases of a Marvel and DC crossover. It was in a Thor book. Thor was talking about all the gods he has seen, and he talked about a god of space, and they showed a green streak. And they showed two gods of Earth, and it was a red and blue streak and a yellow and red streak on the ground, which are obviously the Flash and Superman.
Of course.
So it's teasing that, and then there was a DC book, which was Doomsday Clock, which is a controversial book. But at the end, they talk about a combining of worlds, and they talk about Thor and all this stuff, and they hint at things like like Marvel God type characters. They kind of hint at them, like Galactus and stuff. Yep. Talking about that they'll meet each other in the year 2030, I think it said. What is it? Doomsday Clock 2030. Oh, sorry, 2034. Oh, wait, this is the actual Doomsday Clock for, like, the end of the world. DC Comics. Let me look at DC Comics. It says here, on July 10th, 2030, the Secret Crisis begins, throwing Superman into a brawl across the universe with Thor himself and a green behemoth stronger than even Doomsday, who dies protecting Superman from these invaders. In its wake, Superman's timeline shifts forward again. So it's teasing that we will get a big crisis event in 2030, which is only 5 years away, because he meets and fights Thor and the Hulk. And the Hulk kills Doomsday. So, I don't think a crossover is too out of the ordinary very soon with Marvel and DC. So I came to thinking, Ajax, what would you like to see from some fun Marvel and DC crossovers in the future? Of like, whether it's like a series you'd like to see, or whether it's like a quick book that you like to see, like a one shot. By the way, July 10th is a Wednesday. That's New Comic Book Day. I just looked it up. July 10th, 2030.
Right.
That falls on New Comic Book Day, so oh. I'm excited. I just got myself excited. But yeah, are there any like books you'd like to see be made?
Yeah, Hitman and Punisher, and have Gardenas write it.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Yeah,
that'd
be fun.
So sick. Oh, dude, following on that, Punisher 2. I'd like to see Grifter in Punisher.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be a good one.
I like that.
I had one here, and I kind of want them to rekindle it. I want it to be canon. I want them to reunite, and it's Robin and Jubilee. Because, if you remember, from the old DC versus Marvel and what came to be Amalgam books, they had, like, a romance. They were together.
Is that right?
They fell in love with each other, yeah. Tim Drake and Jubilee fell in love with each other and started dating, and then that's why in Amalgam, they are an amalgam of the same character, because they were together when the worlds collided. So they fused into one, which was that Jubilee. It was basically what Jim wanted Jubilee to look like. It was Jubilee in Robin clothes. I don't know if you've seen that picture of Jubilee's original design. She was supposed to wear green. Actually. She was supposed to wear Robin's colors. And then it got changed to the pink and blue with the yellow jacket.
Okay. That's really interesting.
But I would like to see them rekindle that relationship a little bit, or at least, like, acknowledge it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be like, oh, shit, like, it's been years since we've seen each other kind of thing. Like, that would be very cool. Especially because, like, Tim Drake, like, I know Tim, they made Tim bisexual, so I don't know if he has, like, a boyfriend or anything, or a girlfriend. I don't know what they're doing with him right now. But Jubilee's not with anyone. So I'd like to see that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd be down for it.
Another one, which would be a personal preference of mine, a mix of my favorite DC character and one of my favorite Marvel TV shows, and a soon-to-be great sequel coming up. I'd like to see Nightwing and Daredevil. Two, like everyone's gonna say Daredevil and Batman, but we saw it. You know, we got
already
it.
did.
We already got it. But I like to see two guys that are even more ground level. Like I feel like Nightwing's even more street level than Batman, and I think he would be on par with Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have all the crazy gadgets like Batman. He's not like a detective. Like Daredevil and Nightwing just go and they can bust some heads of some like Kingpin teaming up with some drug lord from Bloodhaven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just go fucking crack some skulls. That'll be cool. Because they both don't kill, but they'll both beat the shit out of someone. Really badly.
We will kill you. We'll just put you in a fucking coma.
Yeah, there is a great line in the new Nightwing book because he's back to like beating up like gangs in the new book, which I'm now reading and it's awesome. Definitely go pick up the new Nightwing series. It's very like his '90s series, ground level, and he's beating up like these like drug dealers, and he's like, make sure that when I put my foot down, your neck's not under it. And I was like, whoa, that was cool. Nightwing's a badass now. Another one that I would like to see is a team-up book of two different teams, and it would be the Lantern Corps and Guardians of the Galaxy.
And the Nova Corps?
Ooh, Nova Corps also. Put all three together.
Okay.
That would be cool. Nova Corps, Lantern Corps, and Guardians of the Galaxy. The three protectors of space, basically.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Like on a big Galactus-level mission, you know what I mean? That'd be cool. I don't know what you would do for that, but I think they can come up with some ideas. Get Ron Lim. Oh, Ron Lim doing some art on that. His Silver Surfer art's amazing. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And then another one that I came up with. This is actually one of the last ones I came up with. It's because they're polar opposites, and I think it'd be funny to see, and it would be gold. Is Batman and Deadpool. Because they are polar opposites of each other. The wisecracking, talkative guy who murders everyone against the silent, very serious, non-killing machine of Batman.
I think Batman halfway through the comic would just start beating the shit out of Deadpool.
But it would also be great because Batman can't kill him.
Yeah.
So, like, Batman could get angry and throw a batarang through his eye. Deadpool would be like, well, that was fucking rude. Like, just tell me to shut up if you want me to shut up.
Deadpool's like, that's cool, man. Just give me 5 minutes. It'll regenerate by itself. It's all good.
Like, that'd be so much fun where he just takes a batarang out of his eye. Like an homage to Dark Knight where he gets Joker in the eye. But Deadpool just pulls it out and his eyeball's on it and shit. And he's like, thanks, that's going to take an hour to come back kind of thing, you know? Yeah. Or he pops it in and it's like sideways or some shit. Like, I think you can have fun with like a one-shot book of Deadpool and Batman. So, I think, is there any others you could think about?
Oh, man. There's a lot. There really is a lot. Oh, man. Give me, fuck it. Give me Squadron Supreme and Justice League. How about that?
Ooh.
Just because I want more
sick.
I want more Squadron Supreme stuff. That's really it.
That would be, dude. That'd be cool if it was like, oh man, that'd be really cool. I just want to see Wonder Woman versus Power Princess. That's what I want to see. That's just the cool fight. Oh man, that'd be really cool. I would like to see. I know like the original Squadron Supreme has like a nice spot in everyone's heart. But that newer version of Squadron Supreme from Heroes Reborn that they did recently, not the 90s Heroes Reborn, the like 2021 Heroes Reborn that they did where it was just straight up a DC book but under Marvel's banner. I'd like to see those up against, because those are the modern ones, up against the Justice League. That'd be really cool. Oh man, that'd be badass. I was also thinking kind of like what we played on earlier too, Blue Beetle and Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Jaime and... Oh, I would say... You know, you could say Jaime and Peter, but I would see Jaime and Miles. Put the new kids in there.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I like that better.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. And, I mean, they're similar enough. Miles is half Puerto Rican. Jaime's Mexican. So, similar backgrounds, almost. Both Hispanic backgrounds. That'd be cool. Get a Latino artist on that and a writer. That'd be cool.
You know, Miles could be like... they always mistake your ethnicity? Yeah, me too, man. I hate when they do that.
I'll never forget when the Spider-Man game came out, and they put the Cuban flag in Miles' house. He's Puerto Rican.
Oh my God.
And then they patched it like on the first update, but everyone was like, "What the fuck? Like, how do you fuck that up?"
Well, Miles is mixed, isn't he? He's half Puerto Rican and he's half
He's half black and half Puerto Rican.
That's what it is.
But they put the Cuban flag in his house. Like, what? Oh man. But I'm interested to see if they ever bring Miles into live action now, because Tom Holland's not gonna be Spider-Man forever.
No.
So, dude, it's funny, real quick. These movies, I love the Tom Holland movies, but I love how backwards it is, where it's now being discussed that Gwen Stacy's going to show up in the next movie because Mary Jane forgot him. This is so backwards. This is so out of order. When did Mary Jane become the back burner girlfriend and Gwen Stacy became, like, the girlfriend? She got her neck snapped decades ago. And she fucked the Green Goblin.
Hey, that got retconned. That got retconned. Okay? We're not bringing that up anymore. It got retconned.
I will never forget. You can never forget that O phase where he turns into the Goblin mid-nut.
Yeah, that was some diabolical stuff right there.
He got that Goblin in him. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was some shit right there.
And so did she. No. Oh man. But yeah, no, I know we did something similar looking at like what we'd like to see from like new amalgam stuff. But I thought looking at Marvel and DC in general would have been just, something cool to look at real quick of what we could possibly get, or what we would want to get from a potential crossover, which may or may not be happening in the next 5 years. I will be going to the comic book shop at that point, probably with my child, buying the book if it comes out. So that's how old we'll be, Ajax. We'll be in our 30s, all excited.
I was gonna say, I'm 28 now. It's fucking scary to think about.
And think about it, from 2030, that's like, what, 20-something years since the amalgam crossover in those DC versus Marvel books? It'd be like the 30-something year or 20-something year.
That.
No, yeah, 30 years. Holy shit, it'd be almost 40 years at that point. Ugh, that's weird.
Yeah,
I was only born like a year after that shit, dude. Because didn't that come out like 96? I own it, but I don't have the information. Yeah, February 10th, 1996. It's only a year older than me. Ugh, that's weird that it'd be that old.
It is. It really is.
What the hell? Damn, dude. But yeah, let's hope Marvel and DC remember that they did this and teased it. So that we can get something at least. It would just be so unique. Give us something cool. And they're playing nice right now with Jim Lee at the helm. Jim Lee at the helm of the comics and James Gunn at the helm of the movies. Like, these guys are friendly with Marvel. Let's get something going here, guys. Come on.
They are, yeah.
Let's get something going here. Jim Lee knows if... this is the thing about with Jim running DC right now, or at least the comics portion, is that he knows when there's money. Like, he knew, all right, we need, like, our Ultimate Universe, so they fucking made it. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know what to sell this Ultimate Universe? If I do variant covers. So he did. You know what also print money? A sequel to Hush. With the same creative team from Hush 1.
Basically, yeah.
So, yeah, so that's he knows what he's doing. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get something out of that. But Ajax, it's January of the year 2025. Our Lord and Savior. But let's go back, Ajax, to a time that we were actually alive. 25 years ago, the year 2000.
Wait. Like, as opposed to now where we aren't alive?
Well, because we're going to look at This Month in
Beyond the
Wizard.
grave.
And usually when we do This Month in Wizard, Ajax, usually it's issues from years before we were even thought of. We were still in our daddy's balls.
That's okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So we were alive for this issue. We were 3 years old. We were cruising, chilling, and, having some smokes, after a long day of sleeping. A long day of pre-K. I don't even think we're in pre-K at this point. But
no, I would have been in kindergarten.
I think, yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I would be in the kindergarten during nap time. Oh God, I got hiccups. Sorry. During nap time, with do you remember the Beetleborgs or Beetlebugs? They were like you could bring a stuffed animal to nap time, but I would bring the Beetleborg or whatever Beetlebug action figure with me to sleep with at nap time, and I had to start bringing that because I used to bring that what the hell was his name? It was that figure when you flexed his arm, he made noise. Was it Max Steel? Is that what that is?
I don't know, but I love the description of it.
Max Steel 2000. Okay, not that Max Steel. Yes, it was. So this is what it was here. It was Max Steel. He was this cool comic book like superhero guy, and he did cool things like skateboarding and shooting guns and shit like that. He was basically like our version of the $6 Million Man, like the 2000s
really.
kid version. But you see how his arm has like this tattoo on it? Like it had these designs.
Yeah.
If you fucking flexed his arm, it would light up and make noise.
No way.
Yes. And it was the coolest fucking thing in the world. See, it was like, oh man, it was so fucking, he was so cool, man. He did everything. He was a ninja at one point. Like, come on, he was so cool. But I would bring this to nap time, and I would bend the arm and make it make noise. And the teachers got really mad at me and told me I couldn't bring him anymore because it was waking up all the other kids.
Ooh.
So first of all, pussies, learn to sleep through that shit. I'm Puerto Rican. I can sleep through a party. I didn't think they'd be fucking waking up because this dude wanted to talk to them. He's just trying to say, look how cool he was. He was like a robot cyborg James Bond. He was so cool. Honestly,
was pretty cool.
I think that's why he was made. This is like the height of like Mission Impossible and all that.
Yeah.
Like Brad Pitt was the guy. So, but yeah, look how cool he was though. So I gotta go through my garage, see if I can find my Max Steel. If not, I'm gonna have to buy a Max Steel figure, put it on right on my desk here. I got room on my desk again, so I like this one where he looks like a male Lara Croft. Let me get that one.
He does, yeah.
Or do I get the cool skateboarding one?
Ooh, that was pretty sick too.
I know. I like skateboarding. So, but yeah, in the year 2000, I was buying all this stuff, but my dad and I were going to Borders Books and looking at Wizard magazines, Ajax. We're looking at Wizard magazines, but we're going to look at a key issue in Wizard magazine. Because we're going to be looking at Wizard magazine from January of the year 2000, issue number 100.
100?
The 100th issue dropped on the year 2000, which is pretty cool. It also has a hot woman on the back. Advertising a site called toohot.com. It might be porn. I do not know. It would not be weird for Image to advertise porn, because I think at this time they were advertising like a hentai fucking... Oh, right here! Oh my god, it's in it! So this is a hentai movie.
Oh, that's incredible.
called Sailor and the Seven Balls.
Amazing.
Game and video on sale 1st of January 2000. Have you got the balls? So this was a porn movie. So I think,
of course.
I didn't know it was in here. I knew at this time they were advertising it. I didn't know it was in this issue. But we're going to look at something different for the first time, Ajax. So I thought, why not look at their best of? They would always do a best of the year before. So the best of the year 1999 to kick off January of 2000. The best comic book series of 1999 went to Earth X, actually, which we mentioned earlier. The Alex Ross drawn, his covers are phenomenal, by the way.
Well, I think he did two of those, right? He did World X and Earth X or something like that.
Yeah, so this is the cool one where like Captain
trilogy.
America looked all crazy. He like the American flag like on his face and shit. Spider-Man was like an actual man with webs on his skin. Like it was really weird. Like if you look, Daredevil's in the bottom left, but he's actually like a devil with a big collar and all that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing these issues here or there at the local comic shop, and I'm tempted to start picking it up. But I don't know if I should do that or just get the trade paperback of it. I'm debating right now. Because I like floppies, but I think getting a trade paperback is a little bit more realistic for the space that I have. But they did have 2000s comic to keep your eye on, and it's The Punisher. And it says here, it's heavy hitters handling a heavy hitter. Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon, the creative team
Yeah.
behind Preacher, will take their
Hell
shot at Marvel's resident vigilante, The Punisher, in a 12-issue Marvel Knights miniseries.
Love it.
Sound familiar, Ajax?
Love it. Yeah, I just read the whole run.
Yup. So very timely with what you've been reading.
Yeah, I love it.
This one made me happy. This should be the winner for every year. The best hero of 1999 is someone that I'm actually not surprised of who it is because of how much his series was selling and how popular he still is to this day. Nightwing, who we've mentioned a lot on this show today. He was the best hero of 1999. His main series kicked off. It was off to a crazy start. Everyone loved it. It was making a lot of money. Yeah, and he was the best hero of 1999. And it's kind of funny looking at this from a post-peak MCU mindset. 2000's hero to keep your eye on, Captain America.
Wow.
He's getting a new makeover, courtesy of Dan Jurgens, who is working on a new series. It says here, Jurgens has already sparked Thor to new levels of excitement, and he's digging up tons of titillating thrills for Tomb Raider. So this was peak of Tomb Raider.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. He did write Tomb Raider for Top. That is true. I think he wrote like the first 50 issues or something like that.
He was coming, and I read that issue 0, and it was fucking amazing. It made me try to find more of the issues, and I can find some, but I can't find number 1. I want number 1. I want the floppy number 1.
It's funny you say that, Gabe, because they're so Dark Horse owns the rights to that run.
Yeah,
and they're gonna reprint it in this like big omnibus size format. It's called the Colossal Archive, Colossal Edition, something like that.
Oh, I gotta say, I saw something cool the other day. Real quick, you know, Image in like the 2000s did like an Image Firsts where they would like re-release all like the 90s main number 1 titles.
Yeah,
they brought that back, and they're releasing some like heavy hitter book number 1s. They reprinted Walking Dead number 1, which already is an expensive book, and I'm tempted to get the Image first. I feel like it's gonna be like one of the facsimile books, and like it's gonna raise up. It's the first time they reprinted it since its original release, which is pretty cool. But they're also releasing like other series that they've done, like series I've never even really heard of from well, I mean, I've heard of, but I've never read.
Yeah.
Let me see if did they have a list of it. But there's some like, here we go, new Image first to spark readers' imaginations. Paper Girls, that's the one.
Paper Girls, yeah, by Brian K. Vaughan.
Yes, so
who wrote Why the Last Man and Saga.
And what's cool is these Image first, like the OG ones, they are only $1.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can buy all these iconic number 1s for $1 now to add to your collection. Paper Girls, Monstress number 1, and I Hate Fairyland, aka also known as Fuck Fairyland for a while before they had to change the name.
That's
coming out, and you know they obviously sold Walking Dead again and things like that, and they resold Spawn, of course. So there's another Spawn number 1 out there for Image first again. But I think it's pretty cool that they're doing that again.
Yeah, I mean I dig it.
So here the Spawn has this red sighting on it.
Label, yeah.
It's fucking cool, man. Yeah, I saw it at the shop the other day, so I was like, oh shit, I meant to tell you that when I went, but I forgot. Next on this list, though, while your best hero is Nightwing, your best villain is someone that I think in the comics now is long forgotten since his main arc, which was at this time, and a movie he was in and was the star of. The best villain of 1999 went to Ultron, who at the time, when this was printed, was going through the Age of Ultron story with the Avengers.
Oh.
So that's what they're hyping up. He was like the big bad for Marvel at the time was Ultron. The 2000s villain to keep your eye on was Lex Luthor. Now moving on to best writer of the year 2000. Who do you think the best writer of 2000 was? Or sorry, of 1999.
Oh, I'm trying to think. 1999. 1999. Is it Gart? No.
Close. It's someone in that same same upper echelon of writers.
Is it Paul Jenkins?
No. One more guess.
Okay. Is it Grant Morrison?
Ooh, close but no cigar. It was Alan Moore,
Oh,
who was the best
really?
writer of 1999.
Is that for his run on Supreme?
Yes, it was. He was getting
Okay.
started on that, and at this time was the beginning of Tom Strong, who
Of course.
went
of
on to
course.
become
yes.
very popular.
Yeah.
Very soon after, and also League of Extraordinary Gentlemen just came out too.
Oh, I didn't know League of. Okay, I didn't know it started
Yeah.
in '99. Okay.
And I believe that got a
Man,
live
he was
action.
doing a
Didn't that get
lot.
a TV show?
It got a really terrible movie.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a movie. I knew I knew
Yeah.
it got something. And honestly, this one is funny to look at in hindsight. The 2000s writer to keep your eye on is Jeff Loeb, who not too long after this went on to write my childhood favorite Superman and Batman run, with Ed McGuinness doing the art. Jeff Loeb also went on to write an episode of Smallville too.
Why is he on the? See, that's what I don't understand. Why is he on the lookout? People already know who he is.
So I'm guessing it's because while he's like people knew who he was still yet to hit like his iconic runs. Still, I'm guessing at the time, because it says here, it goes, he's starting the century off right, working his writing wizardry on the two biggest icons in comic books. He's got Dark Knight fans squirming in anticipation of the ending to Batman Dark Victory, and brought Superman back from a deep sales freeze. The first issue of Loeb's Superman, revamped, flew off the shelves faster than a speeding bullet, and he's just getting started. So honestly, at this point, he's really only had a couple home runs with Batman and Superman that have really been like things to write home about. So I think like while you knew him as like a top writer, this is when he was just getting started.
That's fair.
Because
Yeah,
if I'm
that's
correct,
fair.
didn't Jeff do Hush also with Jim?
I want to say yes. I don't know why. I don't know why that's escaping me at the moment, but I
It
want to
is
say
two
yes.
for me. Yes, he did. So
Okay.
yeah, this is like and that was only 2 years later. So 2 years after this was Hush. So honestly, to keep your eye on, I think it's a decent label to put on him. At this time period, at least, you know. Yeah, and his Superman Batman one is great. He went on to write a couple episodes of the Justice League cartoon. Like I mentioned, he did I remember I was watching Smallville, and there was an episode that was like a lot of fun and like very like power themed, and I was like, this is a cool episode, and it's like head writer for episode Jeff Loeb, and I'm like, oh, that's why you had a comic book guy fucking write the episode.
Yeah, right, of course.
Honestly, the best artist, I didn't expect the best artist. I mean, it's someone that deserves it. He's one of the best artists of all time. But I didn't expect him to be the best artist of 1999. George Perez was voted best artist of 1999, shockingly.
Was he doing Avengers at this point with Mark Waid?
He was doing Avengers at this time.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what he was working on at this point. I mean, damn, that Vision looks cool, I gotta say, though. Vision is badass. Like I said, his art is amazing. He's an all-timer artist. Rest in peace, too.
Yeah, R.I.P. He's a legend.
Yeah. Honestly, a great representation of Puerto Rican artists also. He's one of my people.
That's right. That's
one of
right.
my people. But yeah, I wouldn't think of 1999 though. I wouldn't I obviously he's like one of the best, but I wouldn't mark him for 1999 because this is like the peak of like independent books coming out, you know?
Yes, very much so.
But I also got to think I wonder if I got to look back at past issues to see if they've done this every year. To see maybe if those people that you would expect in there, like a Todd or Jim or things like that, were already put into those lists before, so they needed someone new. And now 2000s artist to keep your eye on, J.G. Jones. Supposedly he was good, as Wizard said, at drawing hot chicks. What the hell did J.G. Jones work on? Oh, okay. So J.G. Jones... Oh, man, okay. He does make some really cool art, looking back. Oh, did he work on that? I'm trying to think. Did he work on this weird... Never mind, okay. I thought he worked on that weird character that everyone thought was, Oh! He worked on Wanted.
Oh, really? Okay.
He did. Okay. And he worked on the 52 books, the DC, that yearly book, that weekly book they did for a year.
Yeah.
He worked on that also. I read like 13 issues of that. Okay. All right. So I do know him. All right. So that's a good title in the year 2000 because
That's pretty
he
interesting.
then went on to do Wanted, which is an iconic book that got An amazing movie that I say amazing, but I watched it back the other day and I still like it. Hate or love it, I liked it when it came out and I liked it now. I have yet to read the book, shockingly, though. Oh, he also makes this fucking iconic Black Adam picture of him on the fucking throne that everyone
Oh, he
posts.
did that.
That's his art, yeah. He does this really cool, like, watercolor-looking art. His stuff is very, very cool. Okay, I've seen his art a lot. So I guess at this time they said he was working on... Oh, he was doing Black Widow Marvel Knights.
Oh, really?
That's what he was doing, because they talk about Black Widow in this book. So it was the Marvel Knights run he was working on. He does do a great Black Widow.
That Marvel Knights Black Widow, like, I've seen that a lot.
Well, he has a Marvel art book that they released all just of his art. Wow, that's cool. Okay, yeah, I've seen his stuff around a lot. I just
He
never...
did Marvel Boy too?
Yeah.
Holy shit. He did more, man, and I don't even really know him by that.
The thing is, yeah, I don't know him by name, yeah, but I know his art, which is like pretty cool. Okay, yo, shout out JG Jones, actually. Underrated, I would say.
Very.
Needs more respect on his name. Next on this list, we're gonna be looking at the best moment of 1999. This is the second to last thing. The best moment of 1999 was the Avengers confronting Ultron. This was also the best moment of 2013. When Age of Ultron came out. Was that when Age of Ultron came out? Did I just get that right off the top of my head? If I did, that's a problem. That came out in... Okay, I was way off. 2015. Woof. Okay. I thought I no-life that, that year off the top of my head.
No life that year.
Okay, I was only 2 years off, though. I wasn't too far off. I like that movie. That was a good movie. But yeah, that was the best moment of 1999. And the 2000s moment to keep your eye on, it's Preacher versus God.
Oh, Preacher's still ongoing at this point, yeah.
Yeah. This was it's already over 60 issues of Preacher at this point.
I was gonna say, so this is like towards the end of the book, because I think it ended in 2000 from what I remember.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is right at the end. And then the final thing they have here, well, they do have like this thing called Best of the Rest, which are really quick things. It says Best Versace Impression. Big Barter wears Plastic Man as a dress. which actually blew up on Twitter recently. Someone posted it, and I was like, oh shit.
Of course. It did.
The winner of Best Monkey goes to Solomon from Tom Strong. Best
That's
Razor
monkey.
endorsement goes to Savage Dragon number 64. I swear to God, if that's the cover I think it is.
No, it's not. It's not. That's
Okay.
way later. That's
Okay.
way later. I know which cover you're talking about. That's way later. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like...
It's not the cover where it says bald is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not
That
that.
wins Best Razor endorsement ever.
That cover is so fucking crazy.
Best Hal Jordan moment goes to We Forgot. Best reason to turn vegetarian goes to The Meat Man. Bags a woman entirely made of meat products from Preacher number 48. Best use of duct tape goes to Captain America's Shattered Shield and Captain America number 22. Best immaculate conception goes to The Invisible Man's Sexual Romp through Miss Rosa Coots Correctional Academy for Wayward Gentlemen from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen number 2. Best child abuse.
What?
It's what they put. Best child abuse goes to strapping Superboy to an atomic bomb by the JLA in Superboy number 60.
Oh my god.
Best place to be a fly on the wall. Buffy and friends hold a slumber party in Buffy the Vampire Slayer number 6.
Jesus Christ.
Best child abuse. And then the final award, which I will add here, goes to Best New Character of 1999. The man we actually mentioned earlier, Tom Strong, which is a series I have been wanting to pick up and read. I've been wanting to read that and Powers. You heard of Powers?
Yeah,
From Image?
Bendis.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to read
Yeah.
Powers and Tom Strong. I also found out there's a Tom Strong action figure that I'm trying to get my hands on. A new character to keep your eye on in the year 2000, Poncho Jones.
Poncho
says-
Jones.
It says, what can we say? Meet the next Pokemon, the next friends, and the next Britney Spears all balled up in the one, minus breast implants. He's Poncho Jones, and he's coming soon, Latin flavor and all, to take the comics world by storm, or something.
Or
Gotta love
something.
Wizard Magazine. And then if you look at my camera, the next page is that iconic image picture.
Oh yeah, of all the boys.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, that was the best of 1999, Ajax. What'd you think of that that list there? It's a very interesting list.
I loved
By
it.
the way, all the weird ones I listed, you can see on this Tom Strong one on the left.
Oh, is that right?
Whoa. I just realized something.
What's that?
Why is your page so different than mine?
Say what?
The digital page of the book?
Oh, the
Shows different-
digital page.
Oh, because I skipped one. Best Breather.
Oh.
Because I was like, why does it say Best Breather? And I was like, oh, I skipped Best Breather. That goes to the Incredible Hulk inhales Mr. Fantastic in Contest of Champions 2, number 2.
That's
If I don't see that added in the Marvel Rivals next week,
come on, guys. What are we
I
doing?
played
here?
Marvel Rivals for the first time the other day. I like playing as Venom. Venom's my guy.
I've yet to play it, but I hear it's really good.
Yeah, I had a good time. We played with it was me, Sinead, and Nate. We all played, and it was a good time.
I hear
Sinead,
it's really
Sinead's main is Punisher. He loves Punisher because he's basically he's a shooter running gun guy.
Well, I've heard Punisher's the most simple character to use in the game.
Yeah, he loves him. He got MVP tons with him, and then I was kind of playing as everyone, and then I settled on Venom. I like playing as him, and then Nate liked playing as if I'm correct, it was Wolverine. So every time we played, it was a 2-tank team, and then I think Nate's favorite was Cloak and Dagger.
A Cloak and Dagger.
So yeah, so I was like the tank of the team, and Nate was just constantly healing me the whole time. I don't play Overwatch. I
yeah.
didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just pressing buttons, and I was just getting shit done. You know, it was
Hell
working for
yeah.
me. So I was like, whatever. We streamed it, so I was like, whatever. But yeah, Ajax, I think that is a solid way to end our issue number 23 of our monthly dive into the long box, but our one shot, Ajax, our one shot. We're gonna be reviewing an iconic book. Savage Dragon, number 1. I am someone that reads Savage Dragon every time it comes out, kind of monthly. Whenever Eric wants to put it out, it's in my box every time. But I've been dying to read number 1. This is our excuse to read number 1. This is actually my signed copy I read too. So when I met Eric,
Wait,
he signed my number 1.
You said it's in your box?
Yeah.
I bet it is.
And he probably drew it too. He probably drew that image you're thinking in your head right now.
Oh yeah.
But next month on the monthly dive into the long box, we're gonna have a fun one, Ajax. We're gonna look at things that don't have comic book adaptions, but that we think deserves a comic book adaptation. Something in pop culture, whether it's books or movies, what we think would translate well to the world of funny books and comics. Because we always see comics turn to live action. Let's see the opposite of that. Let's see live action turn to comic books, or books turned into comic books. Novels, as you smart people say. So we'll be looking at that. I actually picked up a Nightfall novel in New York, too, during the holiday season. They had the novelization of Nightfall, so I fucking bought it. I was like, what? That's a no-brainer. It's for like $4. I got it. Hardcover. So yeah, look out for that in issue number 24. Our one-shot is Savage Dragon number 1. And we will see you guys then. Take care, and stay safe, and have a happy new year.